So it is day 6 in geometry today, and it is Tuesday, August 12th. I'm going to put that on my paper. Tuesday, August 12th. I guess I could have put it where the date is. There we go. Okay. So yesterday we learned the distance formula, where we have two coordinates, 2 points, both with x1, y1, x2, y2, and we plug them into the distance formula to calculate the distance between the points. So as I walked around the room, looks like all of you definitely got number 1 correct. So before I go on and start working all of these out, let me ask you guys, what number did y'all get to? I know you got to 6. Did anybody get past number 6? What number did you get to? I
finished.
You finished it? Oh my gosh, that's pretty impressive. Did anybody else finish it? Get through all 10? Okay, well, you're our winner, Dustin. That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the answer key, and I am going to write out some of these answers. And as I go through, if yours do not match any of them that I write, don't be embarrassed. Stop me. Say, wait a minute, I didn't get that same answer. We'll stop and we'll look at it. So, number 1, we got 7.62. I rounded up. It did technically say in the directions to round your answer to the nearest 10th, which would just be 7.6. The nearest 10th is just 1 decimal place, so you could have done that as well, and I would take it. Number 2, our answer is 6.7. Did anybody get a different answer than 6.7 on number 2? Give me thumbs up if that's what you got. Yes. Okay, cool. Number 3, 12.7. Thumbs up if you got that one. Beautiful. Number 4, 4.1. Thumbs up if you got it. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page then. Number 5, 8.1. Thumbs up if you got it. Thumbs up if you got it. Beautiful. Okay. And if you haven't gotten to these problems yet, go ahead and write the answers down. That way, if you decide to go back and do practice later, you have an answer key so you can check your work. It'll help you when you're studying. Number 6, 16.8. Number 7, 6.3. Number 8, 16.6. Number 9, 11.4. And number 10, 8.5. So that's all the answers on the second page. And I think I only gave you 10 of those because if you moved on to the rest, now we're finding midpoint, which I haven't taught you yet. So if you did go ahead and do distance formula on those, I do not have those answers because the answer key is for the midpoint. So that's going to be the new thing we learn about today. Before we move on though, do we want to go through any of these, or do we feel pretty confident? I was getting all thumbs up. We feel okay? Okay, you guys want to learn something new? This is the last thing in Unit 1. We're about done. We'll get to take our first quiz. So let's just put this to the side, and we're going to take our notes out, and we're going to learn the last thing in Unit 1 today. So let me get my notebook, and you guys go ahead and get out whatever you take your notes on, and we're going to start a new page. So I will title this Geometry. Wow, that lamp. Unit 1. And these will be our day 6 notes. Page 1. And today, again, I'll put the date on here, Tuesday, August 12th. Okay, so I am going to take another one of these little gridded sticky notes. Again, each of you should have a block of these at your tables. So if you want your notes to match mine, go ahead and peel off one of those, because we're going to draw another little graph just to demonstrate what a midpoint is. If you don't have one of these, if for some reason they got moved around yesterday, just let me know. I can happily give you another pad of the gridded notes. And we're going to start by drawing an X and Y axis, just like yesterday. So I like to start with the 4 arrows, and then I like to connect those ends with a ruler. So up and down, left to right. And some little tick marks on here. Okay. And then I also like to label my x-axis and my y-axis. It's easy to mix them up. I like to remember the y-axis goes up and down, and the x-axis goes left to right. And we are going to start with 2 points. My first point I'm going to put at x value negative 1, 2, 3, y value positive 2, right here. So negative 3, 2. Okay. And the next point is going to be positive 3, 1, 2, 3 for the x, and 1 for the y. Okay. 3, 1. So I have these 2 points. And then we're going to connect those points with a ruler. Just like this. So here's what your graph should look like. And I'm going to zoom in on that and just make it clear for everybody. Okay, so here's my graph. We are going to talk about the midpoint today. Can any of you guess what a midpoint is? It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, it's where they are in the middle, kind of the middle of the 2 points. So it's exactly the point that would split this line in half. So if you have points like this that are kind of diagonal, you can kind of visualize, well, the midpoint's going to be about here. That's about the middle. But there's no way we can get an exact number for a coordinate without being certain of a formula. So I'm going to give you that formula today. I'm going to move this to the side. And we're going to write midpoint formula. Now this time, our midpoint formula is actually going to give us 2 points. You're going to get 2 numbers rather than just 1. When we're finding distance, we're finding 1 value. The midpoint formula is going to give us 2 values. So we're going to start our midpoint formula with a big old set of parentheses and a comma in the middle because our answer is going to be a coordinate. Now we're going to have 2 fractions right here with a plus on top of each fraction. And the first value of the midpoint formula is going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2. And the second point is the same thing but with y's. y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So our midpoint formula is basically just helping us find the average x value and the average y value, which is going to give us the middle of those 2 points. And that's why it's called the midpoint formula. So we're going to use these points as an example, and we will use this formula. So I'm going to write over here, examples. Number 1, our 2 points are -3, 2, and +3, 1. And just like when we're using the distance formula, what do you think the first thing is that I'm going to recommend you do with these? Yep, label them. Label your points. It is so, so, so easy to mix those numbers up and put them in the wrong spot. Go ahead and label your x1, y1, x2, y2. It might seem like a silly step, but I promise the one time you make a mistake, it'll be the time you don't label your points. Okay, so to use this formula, we're just going to rewrite it without putting the values in. My big parentheses, split them in half with plus signs. Okay, so, and both get divided by 2. What values will I put in the first 2 blanks? -3 and +3, good. So, -3 plus 3, x1 plus x2. What's going to go in the next 2 blanks? 2 plus 1, perfect. y1 plus y2. So once we've got it all plugged in, it's just about as simple as it looks. We're going to do the addition problems, divide those answers by 2, and you have a midpoint. So what is -3 plus 3? 0. Good. So now I have 0 divided by 2. And what's 2 plus 1? 3. Good. Okay. So we just have one more step to go. What is 0 divided by 2? It's 0. If I have $0 and I want to split that between 2 of my friends, how much money does each friend get? They get 0. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. 3 divided by 2, you'll get a decimal. 1.5. Good. 0, 1.5. And that's your answer. Didn't take too long at all. Was that bad? No. Not too bad. So that's it. That's how you use the midpoint formula. Now we could go ahead and graph that answer and make sure that our numbers make sense. Because it's always good to make sure that whatever answer you get, it actually makes sense for what you're doing. Yeah, like if we got something way, way off, we might need to double check. So 0, 1.5, we'll go to our graph and see how that looks. My x value is 0, so I'm not going to go to the right or to the left. I'm going to stay at 0. And my y value is 1.5, which is right in between 1 and 2. And looky there, that looks like a midpoint. 0, 1.5. There we go. Okay, so that's our first example. Let's pull our worksheet back up. And we're going to flip to page 3. I'm just going to pull this out so you guys can see this again. And on page 3 of our worksheet, we have lots more coordinates. And the directions now say find the midpoint of the line segment with the given endpoints. So I am going to just run through one more example with you guys using number 11 on the worksheet. And then I'm going to let you guys try a bunch of these on your own. So my second example is number 11 from worksheet. And the coordinates are -9, 1, and -8, 5. And just like last time, we will label our coordinates first, x1, y1, x2, y2. And then from there, we just plug that into our midpoint formula. So real quick, what's going to go in the first 2 blanks? For that first example, yes, you are correct. What about this second one? Yes. Yes, -9 and -8. Good. And what goes in the next 2 blanks? 5 and 1, 1 and 5. Good. Now, does it really matter what order you put these numbers in? In terms of like the -9 and -8, could I also do -8 plus -9? Yes, you can. It's okay. You're allowed to put the numbers in whatever order when you're adding. When you're adding, it doesn't matter. Okay, so on to the next step. -9 plus -8. What is that? -17. Good. And still over 2. And then 1 plus 5. That is 6 over 2. And then just one last step. Divide both of those numbers by 2. -8.5 and 3. Beautiful. Okay, so that is our second example as a class. And that's also number 11 on the worksheet. So I'll just display this and keep it up. And what I would like for you guys to do now is see if you can finish the rest all the way up to number 20. Find all the midpoints. See how far you can get. I'm going to set another timer, and I want you guys to use this time as work time, practice time, and question time. If you get stuck on one or need a little help, feel free to come up and use me as a resource. That is what I'm here for. So I'm just going to pause our recording, and I'm going to let you guys do that.